Well, good morning everyone, welcome to Yarkshire Gamer, and this is the August 2020 update, and we're still not gaming here at the moment. Those of you who follow us on Twitter and Facebook will have seen that there were some local rules that came into force in Bradford that meant half of the guys who come here couldn't make it, so we've still not had a game in here since April. And that's a real shame. And the rules reviewed tonight, so fingers crossed we will get going fairly soon. So on the monthly update, I'm going to go through some new stuff that's been painted, and some work in progress, and some new figures into the Yorkshire Gamer world that will be painted who knows when, and just a general update on things that are going on. And I've tried to formalise it a little bit more, have some like start theme and end theme and sort of different sections, so let's see how it goes. And I've got myself a nice cup of Yarkshire tea in my International Brigades mug, which is one of my favourites, so I'll have a quick slurp of this and I'll be back with some new figures. Okay, first unit up for review are these 28mm World War I Arab Revolt Cavalry. These are the guys that you'll see in Lawrence of Arabia. Omar Sharif and his boys running around with Lawrence. The 28mm figures from Artizan, specifically designed for the Arab Revolt. There's a lot of figures from around the period that might fit in, but these are specifically for the Arab Revolt. World War I Mesopotamia Cavalry, easy to say, are one of the themes this year. I'm trying to get my cavalry forces up, and here's another 12 to add to that. I've not done a blog post on these yet, not decided whether I will or not, but they are very nice figures, nicely detailed. I've done a very plain paint job on them, just mostly white, and relatively pleased with them. They'll do nicely for our Christmas game if we ever get around to that. Hand painted flag on this one for a change, and they should be in action in 2 or 3 months' time. Probably build those up. Probably get another 12 of those at least, but that's the first unit this month. So, second unit off the production line. This it's actually half of this unit. I did the other half a few years ago and only got around to buying the extra figures and finishing the unit off last few weeks. These are 28mm Minifigs, would you believe? From a little known range of theirs called the East Ablaze. Worth a look if you do any late colonial gaming or World War I Far East games. We've got some lovely Highlanders, which I've got a unit of. We've got these Turkish Cavalry, which, as you know, Turkish Cavalry World War I, not easy to get hold of. Lances and pennants are all hand done. They just come with an open hand for you to put whatever weapon you fancy in, and I think they look very nice. 24 figures, and again they should be featuring in our Christmas game. So that's 28mm World War I Turkish Lancers. Unit 3 for the month. I've been a bit busy this month, so I do apologise. Plenty of stuff to add to the roll. Another couple of units still to come. These are 28mm Fireforge Crusades Templar mounted knights that I've painted up for the Kingdom of Jerusalem. I think the last video, or the one before last that I did a review of the whole of the Kingdom of Jerusalem force. So I'm not going to harp on too much about these because you might already have seen them. But I love this unit. I really do. Occasionally you'll paint something and you'll just go, yeah, boom, that's it. And this is one of those units. Bit Hollywood, I've had people say, but you know what, I just don't care. I love them, and I'm looking forward to them getting trounced by a load of ghoulims next time they're out. So Unit 3, the Mounted Knights of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Next up is not really a unit, but a set of command bases, again for the Crusades. One of the things I've done always for years and years and years since I started gaming is do an army and then have a game, and people go, right, we need 14 command bases, and I've got one. So with the Crusades army, I actually made a conscious decision to actually do some command bases. So here's the first 4, and this should see me for a while because my Crusades army is not probably a third of what I fancy getting. It's in the build process very much so, and it has been for a long time. I keep dipping in and dipping out of it, falling in love with it, falling out of it. I probably did 4 or 5 units about 6-7 years ago, and then I've not done anything with it until very recently. So glad to have these on the table. 3 of them. So on your left is a command unit for the Knights of St. Lazarus, and they are First Corp Carthaginian Miniatures, and quite nice detail actually. The leader's got like a bishop's hat on top of his helm, green and white of St. Lazarus, and yes, I know the pointed star was from Malta, but you need to have a word with Battle Flags about their decals if you think you're wrong. Not me. So there we go, there's the Lazarus one. Next in line is again Carthaginians Miniatures, and these are done in the later Hospitaller red, again with the incorrect Maltese cross, and you will I've done them in the later colours because somebody bought, or somebody donated, Andy, thank you very much, a box of Teutonic Knights, which are a bit later for our period, but in typical Yorkshire fashion, we're not throwing out. So I painted them in these colours just to show my acknowledgement for the fact that they were out of period by 50 years or so. So they will lead my hospital force. You may have seen this one already if you've done the, and as you should do, if you haven't, why haven't you looked at the Kingdom of Jerusalem Force review? Get down there now. Well, when this is finished, obviously. This is my King Baldwin IV. Obviously dead long before the 1259 date of the previous unit, but hey ho, it's a great figure from Fireforge, it really is. I don't know how much detail we can get. Oh, there we go. Hello. That's nice. That we've just stepped off the set of Kingdom of Heaven there, haven't we? That is an awesome figure. And finally, just a generic Crusade unit. This one, command, with the red cross on the white background. So there we go. So that's 4 command stands for the Crusades, done and dusted, and we've just got 1 more unit to go, and it's been quite busy this month, haven't I? Standby. And here we go, the final one that's painted in July, stroke start of August, and these are 28mm First Corp Carthaginian African Spearmen. I've had these in a box for years. You may have seen the Mortem Glorium stuff that's getting me back, rules that are getting me back into Ancients. I've done a post on the unboxing of them, and unfortunately with lockdown, still waiting to get a game in. but it's got me enthused again painting Ancients. I haven't painted Ancients for over 10 years, and I've got a couple of armies, Carthage and early Rome, and I've been digging into the paint box and came up with these guys. So they are little big man shield transfers as ever, which I love because they really do make a difference to a unit. And trying to get some detail on the figures. Slightly smaller than some of the more modern stuff, and the detail's great, no problems at all. They're a lot cheaper, if I remember correctly, than some of the later stuff. I bought, and we'll see them in a minute, I bought some figures from Gripping Beast, just two units of 24, and then we fell off jet when I saw the checkout price in PayPal. They are not cheap at all. Compared to these, I think at least 17 quid for 24, maybe. Whereas your Gripping Beast is £6.50 for 4, which is a lot. And Gripping Beast used to do unit packs, 24 figures, all your shields, all your weapons, but they don't do that anymore. So speaking of those, we'll come to those next in a new section called What We're Working On Now. So here's the current work in progress, and all being well, you'll see these in next month's video all finished. And carrying on with the ancient themes, we'll talk a little bit about this earlier in the previous unit. 28mm Gripping Beast, Ancients, Carthaginian Veterans. Only just bought these a couple of weeks ago from Gripping Beast. And I had these, there's not many of them left now, but these shield patterns from Little Big Man Studios, which is one of my regular purchases from them, and they've been lying in a box for a long time, probably, yeah, definitely 10 years I would suggest. And I had the shield designs, but I didn't have the figures, so I went out and bought the figures, and I've got 2 units of 24 of these, and this is the first one that I'm working on. And I'm going to do a feature called From Box to Table, which I used to do on the blog painting tutorial, and I'm going to try that for the YouTubes. Just very quickly, this is how I tend to work. So I've got a batch of 8 figures, all primed, all ready to go, sprayed black on just a drinks bottle top, and I've already done the transfers on the shields and done the bosses. And then I've got the spare metal spears undercoated. So that I tend to paint in batches of 6 or 8, and these I'm doing in 8s because the bases are 8 figures. So I've got one base complete, one base finished painting, it's in the basing process, and just needs its shields and spears stuck on once the basing process is finished, because it's a lot easier then, trust me. And the other one that's just about to get started, I'll finish those by the end of today, I would have thought, because I'm not going anywhere in this heat and I'm off work, so I ain't got anything else to do. So the quick look at the guys that are painted. So there we go, pretty basic really. Chainmail, bronze greaves and helmet, faces, and a white tunic underneath. A bit of leather belt on them. That's it. Jobs are good. The figures themselves are fairly straightforward and easy to do. It's with ancients. It's just the faff of doing the shields separately. Even with the shield designs, they take a little bit of time, and then doing the spears again, all done separately, and then getting them all together on the base and painting them up. So there, I'm quite pleased with them. They're going to look nice on the table. And I've got a couple of units of those to paint, so I'm going to crack through those 2 units in one go and just get rid of them. And there we go, that's our work in progress for August. Should see those done next month. And welcome to another new section on the monthly update, and this one's how much? How much? The typical Yorkshireman's prayer. And I'm just going to have a look at some of the new stuff that's coming through the post. I tend to buy something every month, even if it's just a bit of terrain or a set of rules or something. I'm not a big show goer. Probably haven't been to a show for about 3 years. The favourite show and the localist show is at York, the Aventine show, but unfortunately that falls on a family event that happens every year and quite often falls on it, so I tend to miss it, unfortunately. But it's my favourite show, and I last went there 2 years ago, I think. And other than Fiasco, and in Leeds, and I don't go there that often. There's a show called Recon that's within walking distance of my house, and I very rarely go to that either. Don't know why. I'll try and pick up show going this year. Just haven't been to a lot, don't know why. So let's have a look at what we've bought this month. So first off, we've got these, and these are from a company called Tiger Miniatures. Tiger Miniatures. And I've never heard of them before, and I can't even remember how I came across them. I think I was just randomly looking for World War One Turkish cavalry, and these came up, and they are not World War One. They're for the Balkans War, which happened 3-4 years before World War One. So the uniforms and the equipment is very, very similar. And I had a look at them, and I thought, all right, they don't look half bad actually, and I will give them a punt, and ordered 6 just to have a look at them, and just to do I'll paint them up and see what they look like, and then make a decision. They look to me a little bit like the Copplestone Back and Beyond figures. We've got that sort of look to them. And they do 3 relevant packs, each of 2 figures, and they are £5.50 for 2 cavalry 28mm. And they do a Turkish command pack that would do nicely for a mounted commands stand, or a command base within a unit, which is what I'm going to use them for. There's one of the commanders there, and overall quite impressed with them. Let's have a look there. The horses may be a little bit gangly, but I think they'll pay up quite nicely. £5.50 for 2, sold. I'm having some. I'll just put the base of the Turkish, sorry, of the Arab cavalry next to them. Compatible in size. Horses on the Tiger Miniatures probably slightly bigger with that lanky leg that they've got to them, but they'll fit in nicely. So that's Tiger Miniatures, and I bought 6 of those, and we'll see those probably in a couple of months' time in a test squadron for my World War I cavalry. So the next lot of stuff that's coming is again part of my extensive search for cavalry suitable for World War I Mesopotamia, and these have actually turned out to be a godsend. These are for a company called Newline Designs, and the horses, as opposed to the Tiger Miniatures, are rather chunky and fairly wide as well. But I think they'll paint up quite basic, but I can live with that. And these guys are World War One. Well, they're sold as Bengal Lancers, but these will do wonderfully for World War One because they've got the puttees around the leg, and they have also got the 1903 bandolier, which is a problem that I had with some Artizan figures that I looked at for this particular problem of mine, and I was looking at 3D printing and all sorts of stuff to get that sorted, and these have solved the problem, I think. The horses are all the same pose as far as I can tell, but a unit of 24 of these is going to go down very nicely. Now these are, I think they were on sale, and they were £6.60 for 3 28mm horse and rider. No weapons with them, you need to put your own lances on, but these are going to do a job, I think. I'm looking forward to getting these painted and stuck on. Just realised you do get rifle in a pouch to put on the side of them. So a little bit of a size comparison as we did with the previous one, and we'll put these against the Arab cavalry, and again, nice fit, probably slightly taller, very chunky horse, but no, I'm happy with those, that's very good. And final unit. Okay, so the final unit is not that black box in front of you, it's in there, but these are 28mm Punic cavalry from Aventine Miniatures. Now I remember seeing Aventine Miniatures when they first started quite a few years ago, and thinking, oh, I like those, they're really nice. But I never got around to buying any because I'd gone off Ancients at that particular time. So now I'm back on them again. I've bought these, and these are Punic cavalry for my Carthaginians, and they are rather nice, very nicely sculpted, nicely proportioned. You look at the horses and everything fits, and they look absolutely gorgeous. So I'm looking forward very much to getting these done. Unit of 12. Most of my ancient cavalry stuff is in 12s. That's a nice horse, rearing front leg, and yeah, looking forward to getting those done. They're going to be very nice. So that's everything that I bought. Honest Mrs. Riley, nothing else. And you'll see some of those coming up in the months to come. So there we go, that's the end of the August update. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a bit longer, and if you've stuck on this far, well done, congratulations. But I thought it'd be better to break it down into the stuff that I've painted, the stuff that I've bought, the stuff that I'm working on, and then look at the scores on the doors in terms of all the follows and stuff. That's more for me, just so I can look back on these as months go by and see how things are developing on the Yorkshire gamer front. So fingers crossed for tonight that we get a green light for gaming, and there'll be some gaming stuff on here next month. And if not, I'll just carry on painting, and we'll see you next month. Thanks very much for tuning in. So just to finish off, here's the latest number of followers for Yorkshire Gamer on the various channels.